All right, Monroe hosting Cairo for the second straight season over at Hugh Mill Stadium with a tornado win. Cairo, Westover, Monroe would all be in a tie for first, so style points in effect for both teams. And Donald Thomas for Cairo with a 7-0 lead here, style to the max. He gets all the way down to the 3-yard line, leading to a Cairo touchdown, 14-0 in the second. Now Charles Stafford, chance to respond here. Interception by Cairo at the end of the half. That one's by Deontay Dismuke. That would give Cairo a 14-0 lead at the half. Now in the third, Monroe trying to respond. They give it to Devontavis Campbell down to the 7-yard line here. And then on a 3rd and 11 for Monroe, Stafford goes to one of his favorites, Kevin Williams. Williams stretches across the goal line for the score. So 14-7 Monroe in the third, trying to make a comeback. But on a 3rd down here at midfield, Cairo going deep here. Thomas to Dontre Anderson, and yes, he did. He caught that one. That would be another Cairo touchdown. Monroe tries to get a comeback going later on in the 4th quarter of this game, but it's not enough. Cairo wins Quad A Region 1 by the final score of 28-20. And now Fox 31's Sean Stryker live over at Hugh Mill Stadium for a recap on the final few minutes.
Yes, Andrew, that's right. You know, I'm here live at Hugh Mill Stadium, and like you were saying, Monroe hasn't beaten Cairo in 6 years, and it looks like they're going to have to wait just a little bit longer as Monroe fell 28-0 to Cairo. Cairo, like you were just saying, clinched that Region 1, that number 1 seed in Region 1 4A. But what I want to talk about is the resiliency of Monroe. They trailed the entire game, but they never quit. They kept coming back, and specifically in the last 2 minutes, they were trailing 14-28. They still managed to put up 6 extra points to bring that score to 22-28. Both of these teams, it's clear they're gearing up to playoffs. One more week of regular season, and then they're in playoffs, and that's when the games count. It's going to be really interesting to see how things play out throughout those playoffs. One thing I want to add, though, is the Cairo's high school. I mean, their nickname is the Syrup Makers, and I'll admit that's one of the more interesting things. That's just something I wanted to add in there. The Cairo High Syrup Makers, again, clinching the number 1 seed in Group 1 4A. Andrew, back to you in the studio.
Yes, the Cairo Syrup Makers, one of the best names, also one of the best teams in Georgia high school football. So the Syrup Makers take the region title. Well, most of our teams have playoffs on their minds. We're entering the final week of the regular season next Friday. Here are your options for the Blitz game of the week. Somehow the 6A playoff seeds will be decided by next week. Coffee hosts Valdosta, and the Packers are hosting region champion Camden County. And over in Quad A, the Worth County Rams needing a win to make the playoffs. They'll be hosting Monroe. So to vote for your favorite game, get connected to mysouthwestga.com/theblitz.